Friday and the all-important announcement that will be released, which may be confirming the need for more stimulus. I have all the details and the warning out of the Fed just a few weeks ago and how that translates into the announcement coming out on Friday. We've got a lot to talk about right now as we're literally on the brink as we speak. A lot of things are happening. Let's get into the details. All right, now first off, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while now, you've certainly heard me talk about this and the importance of this announcement coming out on Friday. This will be very important, and like I said, it may even confirm the need for significantly more stimulus going forward. Now really quickly, just a few weeks ago, in the middle of December, I talked about this in a video around that time, the Federal Reserve came out with their meeting, right? Their FOMC meeting in the middle of December. In fact, it was December 18th is when they wrapped up their meeting and came out with their announcement on interest rates, as well as the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, came out with his press conference, right? He always does that shortly after the announcement. Well, in that announcement there, he was basically talking in circles, getting questions, and basically giving conflicting answers. It was not a very good thing, and we also saw the stock market sell off significantly as a result because there was so much confusion and so convoluted with his answers. Well, going into that, he was basically saying very clearly, the job market is weak. That's not something we want to hear, right? When it comes down to the overall economy, when it comes down to everything that's happening, well, you don't want to hear the chairman of the Federal Reserve say, hiring and jobs and employment here in this country are not doing that great. Not good. That's literally what he signaled, which has been leading into a lot of confusion and a lot of lack of confidence going forward. Well, guess what? On Friday, we're going to be getting the all-important non-farm payroll number, otherwise known as the jobs report, which is what we get out once per month. It's generally the first Friday of the month, but considering the first Friday of January was actually, a couple days after the holiday, things like that, they're pushing it out until this Friday. So as a result of that, this is going to be December's non-farm payroll number, otherwise known as jobs report. So this will be the last 2024 number for the month of December. Now, you probably heard me talk about this before in other videos as well, which, by the way, I'm making it very clear here how this translates into stimulus, so just hang on for a second. But anyway, you've heard me say this before in other videos. Usually, November and December are very strong hiring months. Why? Seasonal help for holiday work, right? I mean, obviously, we all know that, right? Generally, November and December are very strong seasons for retail and things like that because, people are out spending all kinds of money, things like that. And there's a lot of extra hiring that goes on. So generally, we should see a pretty strong number here coming for December. We should see that. But if we don't, it's going to be bad. But we also have to recognize, too, as well, a lot of these jobs that will be created for December, whatever that number happens to come in at on Friday, whatever that number comes in at, we're also going to recognize a lot of those positions that were created in December were probably seasonal workers, right? I mean, we'll have a glimpse of that as well. We'll have that information. But with this report here that comes out, we will get a couple different figures. We're going to get the unemployment rate. What is it doing? Did it go up? Did it stay the same? Did it go down? That's going to be important as well. How many jobs were created or lost? That's going to be very important. Here's what's more important in my opinion. Revisions to the last couple months here. With the report, they always come out with revisions. They basically say, hey, the last 2 months here, we're revising up or down. In other words, we miscounted by X number of people. Whoops, we miscounted by 80,000 people. Not sure how you do that, but they do it every time. My point is, this is going to be very important. In my opinion, the revisions that come out with this report on Friday for the last couple months are going to be possibly even more important because if they come out with these revisions and say, sorry, we miscounted for November by 53,000. Sorry, we miscounted for October by 71,000 or whatever. I'm just making up numbers here. If they come out and say and revise down, that's not good. What it really means with the revisions is say, sorry, we miscounted, and revising down significantly to make it very clear that we don't know how to count and we're revising those numbers down, making it clear that we actually hired significantly less people in the economy. Now, obviously, the numbers could be revised higher as well. That's an option as well, but we'll see. The revisions lately have been going down, so we'll see what happens. But my point is, this is, in my opinion, oh, by the way, we're also going to be getting labor participation rate, average hourly earnings. That's all encompassed in the report on Friday. Those ones, in my opinion, are not as important, but they're still going to be released. Anyway, so here's what's happening. In my opinion, this is possibly the most important economic data point that we get every single month, simply because this gives us a broad picture of the overall economy. Considering back on, December 18th, December 18th, with the press conference with Jerome Powell, he made it very clear. Yeah, jobs in this economy, jobs in this country, not doing that great. The employment situation is, it's not great right now. It's kind of really bad. We're seeing it trending lower. We're trying to hopefully cut rates a little bit to maybe spur a little bit hiring and to make sure that the labor market is strong. He's basically saying, yeah, the labor market right now is not very good whatsoever, and we're trying to cut rates a little bit here to hopefully avoid a major crash in the overall employment situation. In other words, jobs, the labor market, which, by the way, it's also been known since then that basically the Fed expects the unemployment rate to go up to no more than, up to possibly 4.6%, no more than that. Here's what I'm going to say about that. If we see the unemployment rate going up to, say, 5, 5.5, 6, anything more than 6, I would even say more than 5.5%. If we see a 5.5% rate on unemployment, or possibly even 6%, that's going to be really, really, really bad, really ugly for the overall economy. That's not good at all, right? Just want to make that very clear. That's in my opinion, by the way. But here's the thing, going forward, if we see a weak job number here, my point is, this is basically confirming, hey, a recession is here, okay? They've basically made it very clear over the last couple of weeks here, and even with the press conference with Jerome Powell, oh yeah, we avoided a recession. How can you say that? I don't know how anybody can say that right now. That is, in my opinion, not an okay thing to say. You can't really say that, because here's the thing. We've likely been in a recession for the last little while now, or at least we're on the brink of beginning to be in one. Here's the thing. I just want to say this much as well. Whether we are or we're not officially, does it feel like a recession? Does it feel like it right now? It feels like it, right? It feels like it. That's the thing. A lot of times when it feels like it usually turns out to be, by golly gee, it turned out to be a recession at the end of the day. It was a recession hiding under a wolf mask or whatever. You get my point, right? So that's what's important going forward, is that whether we are or we're not, it still feels like it, and that's somewhat self-fulfilling, right? My point is, why does this report have any significance? Why is it important, and how is this translated into stimulus? Here's what it comes down to. You've heard me say this so many times before in other videos. Stimulus is provided based on economic factors, based on the economy, the overall health of the United States economy. That's literally what predicates the distribution of stimulus literally every single time. It's not how many times we write letters to them. It's not how many times we make videos. It's not how many times we call and leave voicemails. It's not how many times we beg, plead, ask for, and basically tell them, please give us some type of stimulus. They couldn't care less about all that. It's all economically based. So when it comes down to a potential stimulus going forward, it's all when it comes down to a recession, a contraction in the economy, and that is when stimulus is provided, okay? My point is, for the last couple months here, the last several months, in fact, we've been seeing declining economic factors and data points. We've been seeing all kinds of signs, signals, warning signs all over the place, basically saying we are basically entering into a recession. When we see this happen, when we see a potential recession on the horizon, when we see a recession hit, this is when lawmakers scramble and they say, uh-oh, bad situation, we've got a recession. We got the big R, recession, right? And that's when they all get worried about this. And it depends on a few different factors. How bad is the recession? How deep does it go? And how long do they project it to last? When those factors are considered, that is when they say, okay, this patient, the economy, needs a dose of X dollars of stimulus to get us out of this recession and to get us back on a solid footing. What do? They go to the Federal Reserve and say, hey, Fed, please print us up $1 trillion and plow it out into the economy. It's a different dollar amount every time. It's a different name of the package, but essentially that's what happens, and they push it out in the form of stimulus in all kinds of ways to stimulate the economy. That's what's going on. So if we see a really bad number here coming in on Friday, and if we see bad revisions here going forward, we're basically confirming, hey, it's been a recession, and we're basically already we're feeling the impacts of recessionary right now. Or that doesn't really make any sense, but you get my point, right? So anyway, that's what's important about this, okay? So you might be thinking about it. You just talked about like the job report. How does that have anything to do with stimulus? In my opinion, it has everything to do with stimulus because it's all predicated on the economy and what goes on with the economy going forward. That is when they push out stimulus. Got that? Anyway, I'll keep you posted on this. I hope this helps you to some degree. I'm here for you. Please subscribe down below if you're new here, or if you haven't done so yet, or if you know anybody that would benefit from this information. Feel free to share this video. There's a share button down below. Otherwise, please subscribe as well. Totally free to do so. Big subscribe button. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Happy New Year as well. Hope you're doing well. Otherwise, check out the well over 5,000 videos here on the channel. The videos I've hand selected for you down below in the description at the top of the comment section. And right now showing up on your screen as well. You'll see some videos there. Thanks again. Please check out one of those videos. Otherwise, have a nice day. Stay tuned. I'll keep you posted, and I'll see you again soon in the next